Of all the things that don't work on this planet, whining is near the top of the list. Welcome in, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're here today. It's gonna be a good discussion. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you leave and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you want all the good stuff, you might want to sign up for my Sunday morning email newsletter. The link is in the description box down below. Every Sunday morning, I send out a very short, very sweet, but very popular email newsletter featuring all the cool things I found throughout the week, whether it's a great recipe that you absolutely have to try, a sale you might have missed, or a funny piece of information that I just want to share with you. It's super easy to sign up, super free, super fun. The link is in the description box down below. I think you're going to love it. I went out with some friends a few days ago, and one of the people in the group was doing some world-class whining. I'm telling you what, he was really getting into it. There was a particular topic that he was upset about that was impacting his life. And oh my gosh, he was literally building a monument to this issue that he was whining about. I'm not kidding you. He was, pouring the foundation, stubbing in the plumbing, and then the next thing you know, he's framing up the walls and tacking on the drywall. And by the end of the whole time that we were together, he was like putting the roof on. This whole monument to what it was he was whining about. And I just kind of had to laugh because he knows better. Most of us know better. And one thing I can say is, and you might be able to say it as well, I have never met anyone or had a friend who was just like a world-class whiner who ended up with a happy solution to whatever it is that they're whining about. Why? Because whining doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I don't know why as humans on earth that we fall into that trap, but we certainly do. I think the media has a lot to do with it and just the pervasive culture. Some people feel like whining or being miserable gets them attention. And that's the only way they can get attention. And so they keep doing it to get more attention. And then there are people who like to get attention by, clucking and sympathizing with the whiner and offering solutions that, the whiner's never going to take because everybody's just vying for attention, either whining or supporting the whining or whatever. It doesn't really attract me at all. It's not as though I don't like the person because they're whining. I just don't want to participate because I know that it doesn't work. I mean, we all know it doesn't work when we really sit down and think about it. I think we all know that. Why doesn't whining work? Because on this planet, we are energetic beings. We are pure energy. We're just in these little meat suits for the time being on this planet. But who we are, the essence of who we are, is energy. And energy has a frequency, or you could say it has an amount of light. So the more light you have, or the higher your frequency, the more lighthearted, the little happier, and the more elevated that you feel. And we can see this in the dialogue that we have here, particularly in the US. When a topic is really disturbing or uncomfortable, we'll call it very dark. No light. Or you can say about a friend, oh my gosh, when she walks in, she just lights up a room. Because what we're doing is we're responding to their energy or their frequency or the amount of light that they emanate from their being. And so when we talk about outcomes or looking for a solution or deciding on something that we want to have happen, what we need to get to is that frequency, that energetic frequency of whatever it is that we want to have happen or we want to get or we want to experience or whatever, because that frequency is going to call in like frequencies. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're a musician and you've been a musician all your life, you love music, and you have a new band, and your band plays this lovely compilation of smooth jazz music. I love smooth jazz. I listen to it a lot. So your band plays smooth jazz, and you've gotten a few gigs around town, little, venues, coffee shops, or maybe little, restaurants in the evenings where you and your band go and play your smooth jazz music. Well, who's going to show up and listen to you? Other people that like smooth jazz music. It just is, because they're attracted to that frequency of music. They're attracted to what you're creating. And so it becomes very clear when you look at that example that whatever we're putting out there, that's exactly what we're going to get back. So whining is just like a one-way ticket to a miserable experience, because what you're doing is you're putting out a lot of negative energy, a bunch of whiny energy, particularly if you're talking about the problem over and over and over again. The universe goes, oh, okay, if that's your focus, here's more of that. Oh, and you're still on it? Okay, well, here's more of that, and here's more of that, and here's more of that. That's why whiny friends, they generally have always something to whine about. Even if, what they were whining about last time has somehow resolved itself, they're going to find something new to whine about. I think it's almost a habit. As far as getting someone to shift out of the whiny mode, I don't know that you can ever do it. I just don't. I think people change when they're ready to change, and they stop whining when they realize there's nothing in it for them. It doesn't have a happy outcome. What I have done, and in my younger life, I was a whiner at times, a world-class whiner. I am not a whiner now at all, because I know it doesn't work. And I don't like the way it feels. And before you go into it, it's like, well, Kimberly, you have a great life. What do you have to whine about? Trust me, sister. You don't know my story. I have definitely ticked off the boxes of a lot of the really, tough stuff that can happen to you on this planet during a lifetime. I've ticked a lot of those boxes. So I definitely have gone through my own challenges. What came out of that was a realization that I don't like to feel bad. I just doesn't feel good. Feeling bad doesn't feel good. It almost seemed like it should be an obvious thing. But I just recognized that feeling sad doesn't feel good. I like to feel happy. Now, do I feel sad when something happens while I'm processing it through? Yes, I do. And I do understand that it's necessary at times to just sit and cry. And I have done that plenty in my life. I have sat, I have cried, I've worked through the emotions, and I have moved on. Today in my life, I don't whine. Nothing good is going to come out of it, because I know that by now. What I do now, and maybe you do the same thing too, because we're not spring chickens. We've been around this planet for a while, done several rotations around the sun, and we understand what works for ourselves and what doesn't. What I do now, and I've done this for quite a while, and I raised my daughters with this philosophy, and that is figure it out. Whatever the problem is, what do you want as the solution? And figure it out. And what I like about that statement, figure it out, is that it opens up possibilities. And the universe goes, oh, she's asking for a solution. Here, let's give her some. And it seems like once I determine that I'm going to figure this out, and this is probably the outcome that I'm looking for, or some type of an emotional state that I want the outcome to be. I don't know the details, but I want to have this emotional state with the outcome. Once I do that, the universe starts sending me solutions. I'll get a little idea in my head, or someone will show up on my doorstep, or something will just appear in my reality that ends up being a wonderful choice for getting me to that outcome, that emotional feeling that I wanted to have with the problem. So that's what I do now. It's like I'm going to figure this out. And I learned something recently. Well, not so recently. It's something I've known for a while, but my attitude about it has changed. And I want to share this with you, and I wanted to then give you a bit of a challenge. I have a friend, her name is Cynthia Sue Larson. She is probably one of the most spiritually advanced people I have met on this planet. And I am just very, very grateful to know her. She's had a full Kundalini awakening. She is a master in my mind of energy and vibration. And I became aware of Cynthia several years ago before I met her. And she has this little tagline, and it is, "How good can it get?" And when I first heard that tagline, "How good can it get?" several years ago, I kind of eye-rolled it. Like, what a Pollyanna thing to say, or, that doesn't make any sense. I did not see the depth and the beauty of that line. Well, I followed Cynthia for a while. She does wonderful work. And then I was lucky enough to be able to interview her a couple of times on my other channel. And we kind of have become friends as a result. What I understand now is her tagline, "How good can it get?" is like the most wonderful, delicious invitation to the universe to bring you the best possible outcome in every situation. Because what you're doing is you're inviting in all the wisdom of the universe, all the infinite capabilities of the universe, your entire team, angels, if that's where you go, everyone in the spirit world, everyone in the energetic world, everyone on your team now has the invitation from you. How good can it get? And what do? They work in high gear. They go into high gear to bring you the very best outcome, as good as it can get. And the universe, because it's all energy and we're all energy, when you say, "How good can it get?" the possibilities are infinite and fantastic and incredible and the very best outcomes that you could even imagine. So what I would like to challenge you to do, and just give it a try for 7 days. 7 days, that's not very long, and it takes a few seconds. Start saying, "How good can it get?" When you wake up in the morning and you think about your day, say, "How good can it get?" When you're pausing during the day or thinking about what you want to do, say, "How good can it get?" And start saying that as your little mantra just for 7 days. And then let me know in the comments below what happened for you. And I will bet you that the level of magic, the level of change, the level of a non-whiny existence that you're going to be stepping into is going to be absolutely magical. I promise you, give it a try just for 7 days, and you'll find out that this, unlike whining, really works. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this topic of what doesn't work. And if you catch yourself whining, you know what? You can quit. You don't have to keep doing it. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to regret it. You can just move on to something different. And before you know it, you'll be saying to yourself, "How good can it get?" I want to thank you so much for joining me. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.